It is day 33 of the Pantry Challenge, and I can't believe we still have a pound of ground beef left at this point. I thought I'd used it in last week's menu plan, but it was left over for this week, which is very cool. It breaks up the salmon and sardine monotony a little bit. So I'm going to make a meatloaf, which normally calls for egg, but I'm just going to use a little bit of extra oats and milk, and hopefully that'll be enough to bind it together. And then I'm just going to keep the spices pretty simple, but of course I'm using the homemade ketchup on top because meatloaf must have a good topping. To go with the meatloaf, I'm going to try again with the celery, and this time I'm making celery fritters. I found a recipe, believe it or not. Someone else wanted to make celery fritters at some point in time. So I'm using flour and panko. Normally I just make my own breadcrumbs when something calls for panko, but I had that in the pantry and I just don't have the extra energy for extra projects, so we're going the simple route tonight. And then of course there's the celery and there's some spices that go in there, and I think I will need to use an egg substitute, maybe a chia egg or something like that, in order to hold that together. And then I'll be frying it in rice oil. So that's our supper for tonight. I think it should be pretty good. Hopefully the celery fritters turn out better than the creamed celery gratin stuff, but I am looking forward to meatloaf.